Hey everybody, I'm Ashleigh Banfield and this is Drop Dead Serious. I am taking a little ditty break. It actually sounds funny when I say that, a ditty break. But I'm taking a ditty break because today in court, it was all sort of technical. The government and Diddy's lawyers sort of hashing out what kind of instructions they're going to give the jury. And that is a super duper snore. I will tell you this, some people got things wrong. They thought that the government was dropping kidnapping and arson from the case, but they're not. They're just dropping the instructions on attempted. So that's my Diddy update for today. But I've got something else for you. I have this entire story that is so off the chain, I have not been able to get it out of my mind. It started with a traffic stop, and it ended with a married high school teacher in handcuffs, crying in the back of a squad car, asking if she was in trouble. But according to prosecutors, Christina Formella wasn't just a teacher. They say Christina Formella was an all-out predator. Investigators say she groomed a 14-year-old boy for 2 years, luring him in with tutoring sessions and coaching him in soccer before engaging in what they describe as disturbing and obsessive sexual relations. Prosecutors say Formella carried out that sexual relationship with that boy on school grounds, during school hours. And cops say she even documented the whole thing on her phone, like a twisted love story of sorts. Police say there are so many text messages, manifestation lists, a veritable digital diary where this married woman called the teenage student disgusting for cheating on her. Think about that. Married teacher calls child disgusting for cheating on her. I know. Now you know why I'm doing this story? It wasn't just bad judgment. Prosecutors say it was premeditated, manipulative, and criminal. And now Christina Formella is facing more than 50 felony charges because of it. This is the case against Ms. Christina, the teacher, Ms. Formella. The court record is filled with story after story, detail after detail that reads like a movie script. It is simply hard to believe the case against her is actually real. So hang on to your hat and let's start from the very beginning. It was the kind of rumor that instantly spread throughout the hallways and then far beyond those hallways. A high school teacher in Downers Grove, Illinois, just outside Chicago, being accused of crossing an unthinkable line with a student. Christina Formella, 30 years old and married. She was a special education teacher and a soccer coach for both the girls and the boys teams. She was arrested on March 16th, 2025, after a mother says she discovered graphic text messages on her son's phone, messages between her teenage son and that teacher. Her son was a student of Formella's, but she not only taught this boy, she also coached him. And she privately tutored him. At the police department, the boy's mother told officers the following. On March 11th, 2025, the boy's cell phone broke. So his mom purchased him a new one. On March 14th, the new phone arrived. And when the boy's mom signed into his iCloud account, the text messages began to populate the new phone. And while scanning through the messages, the mom noticed a text thread from a number with no name and no photo. She opened the thread, and what she found was alarming. From the boy, quote, "I love you so, so much, mama." From the unknown number, quote, "I love you so much, baby. Even though this morning was short, it was perfect." Teenager, "I know, baby, it was perfect, baby. So perfect." Unknown number, "I love having sex with you." Teenager, "I know, baby. I love it so much. It feels so good. It's so passionate. It's so intimate. It's so perfect." When questioned by investigators, the teenage boy confirmed that the number belonged to Christina, his soccer coach. The mother also confirmed that the number matched the one that she had saved in her own phone for a teacher named Christina Formella, because earlier her son had been injured playing soccer, so she saved the coach's name and number, Christina Formella. The teenage boy went on to disclose that he and Ms. Formella had exchanged phone numbers, had begun texting, and that the texts became flirtatious. He told the police that he eventually engaged in sexual intercourse with his teacher and coach. The boy said it happened once, inside a classroom at Downers Grove South High School in December of 2023. Hold that thought. The boy said it happened once. I'm here to tell you, you're about to find out that ain't true. At the time, Christina Formella was 28 years old, while the student she was accused of abusing was just 15. According to court documents, in a second interview, the teenager confirmed that Formella had been his soccer coach as a freshman. He said she started tutoring him after he broke his collarbone and that the tutoring continued into his sophomore year. The teenager said that he and Formella began messaging each other using a school platform that the teacher had given him. He told police that Formella gave him her cell number so that they could play an online game called 8-Ball Pool on iMessage. He said that's when they began exchanging flirtatious text messages. The boy said at one point Christina Formella FaceTimed with him while she was in Arizona. The boy said that one morning before school in December of 2023, he met up with the defendant in her classroom. He said that the defendant closed her door, which automatically locked. He said that's when they began kissing, that he had grabbed her behind and that she had fondled his private parts over his clothes. The boy said that his teacher then removed his pants and his underwear and that together they removed her leggings. The boy said that's when they began having sex while still standing up. The boy said despite the speed of what he was describing, he did wear a condom and that he did ejaculate. He told police that he flushed the condom down the toilet to avoid leaving it in the classroom garbage can. The boy told investigators that his teacher told him that she liked what they had just done. But according to the teenager, police say he admitted that he and the teacher both acknowledged in February of 2024 that what they had done was wrong. The student insisted that he and the defendant had had sexual intercourse just that one time. Again, remember what I said before? Wait for it. The boy insisted that it happened when he was just 15 years old. He told police he believed Christina Formella was about 26 or 27 years old when in actuality she was 28. On March 16th, police pulled Christina Formella over in her car during a traffic stop, and within seconds of stepping out of her husband's car, she was in handcuffs and seemed completely bewildered as to why.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Officer Guzman with Downers Grove. Do you have your license on you?
Yes. Tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain. I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You're Christina?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You don't have anything on you? You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna explain everything to you guys. Go ahead and grab it. We're not going anywhere right now. Of course, yeah.
I don't understand what's going on here.
I get it, yeah. You can go grab your things.
Can he come with me?
Yes. It's right back over here. So, we do have an investigation going on. We have to talk to you about it at the police department, okay? So we're going to explain everything to you there. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. We do have to bring you there, though, okay? So, I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a Downers Grove.
Handcuffs?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor, we just take this off.
Can I ask you
Of course, yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me.
I'm like...
I get it. You have a lot of questions.
So scared.
Yeah, everything's okay. We just need to talk to you at the police department. That's all. Nothing else on your pocket right now? Anything else?
Just my phone.
Just your phone?
Here.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to sit in the back of this car. On the other side.
In short order, the arresting officers would put a handcuffed Christina Formella into the back seat of their cruiser. Dashcam video inside the squad car captured what happened next.
But you can't even give me like an idea
At the
as
moment,
to what this is about?
Other than it's an investigation, that's all I can really tell you right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more. 50516.
Excuse me, is my husband coming with?
Yes, yeah, he's taking his phone number down. We're staying in touch with him. We're just going to Downer Grove, so 10 minutes away.
No, I know, but I really would prefer that my husband's with me.
Of course.
Am I in trouble? Like, I'm so lost right now.
I'm sure you are. Like I said, I can't answer any questions right now. I'll just tell you that right now you're being detained for an investigation and we're bringing you to the police department. And once you get there, they're going to fill you in on everything.
Soon she would be hugging her knees and crying. At one point, she said she felt like she was going to throw up.
I'm just going to put your seatbelt on, right? Unless they're able to reach it down there. Alright, sure you don't want a tissue or something?
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
You want a bag?
Yes, please.
Alright. Shauna, can you grab like a bag out of there? Hey, can you get like a bag just in case she gets nauseous? Yeah. I don't know, do we have any of those emesis bags like laying around the box? I figure something better than nothing. Or here, if you stay with her, I'll go grab it.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
60 minutes of emo.
These body cam videos were really the first time the general public had seen or heard of Christina Formella, not as a teacher, not as a coach, but as a felony suspect. But from there, the investigation took an even darker turn. According to the court records, Formella allegedly admitted that her sexual relationship with the boy had started, quote, a year and a half ago. But that admission did not last, because later she changed her story and now she was denying everything. She claimed she never had sex with that student and instead told the police that the boy was a stalker. And then her next quote to the police made the story go viral. She told them, quote, "Everybody comes after me because I'm good looking, and I'm just a good person who cared too much about him." Needless to say, prosecutors weren't buying it, and when confronted with the text messages, Christina Formella didn't deny that the text messages existed, but she had a whole other story for them. She claimed that the student had stolen her phone, and then that student had sent the messages himself, but was clever enough to delete the originals, making it look like the surreptitious communications came directly from the teacher, Christina Formella. She then told police that the boy used the texts to blackmail her. When Christina Formella made her first court appearance in March of 2025, she was formally charged with 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual and 1 count of criminal sexual assault against a minor. Serious stuff for sure. But wait for it. Just wait for it. The prosecutors asked the judge to keep her in custody. No bail. But their request was denied, and Formella was released on bail with the following conditions: no returning to Downers Grove South High School, no contact with anyone under the age of 18, and she was placed on administrative leave from the school district too. But then the investigation was still active. They were still working hard in that police division, right? And lo and behold, what the investigators found took this case into the stratosphere. What they thought was a one-time event, right? Because the boy said it and the teacher kind of went along with that and then said it was a no-time event. What they thought was a one-time event, a teacher abusing a student just one time inside a classroom, turned out to be something so much more serious. In the course of their investigation into that quote-unquote one-time event, police actually uncovered what they described as, quote, hundreds, if not thousands, of explicit messages between Christina Formella and that teenage boy. And the messages backed up the teenager's story, what the teenager told the police, the teenager's version of stuff, except for the one time, you know? The messages did not back up the teacher's account of a boy who went rogue, tried to blackmail her. By June of 2025, Formella was hauled back into court, and this time, the charges against this teacher ballooned. Prosecutors hit her with 52 additional counts, and they accused her of grooming this child far earlier than she'd originally admitted, and far longer than even the boy had admitted. They said Christina Formella had begun her relationship with this student 2 years earlier, when he was just 14 and a freshman. They said Formella engaged in at least, are you sitting down? 50 sexual acts with this student. That's 50, 50, including 45 acts that allegedly happened on school property, some of them even during school hours. The rest, they said, occurred at Christina Formella's home. You know, the home she shared with her husband. One of those messages allegedly said that she didn't even plan to marry that husband. Another message suggested that she'd marry him, but then instantly leave him and, quote, get millions of dollars. The prosecution also revealed that police recovered a personal memoir that Formella allegedly wrote in the Notes app of her phone. And the entries, let's say they weren't subtle. In one section, she reportedly raged at this boy for, quote, cheating on her. She called him disgusting. Another entry read, quote, we will never, ever be together again. I'm not a second choice. I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all of my mistakes. Under a heading labeled Manifestations, Formella allegedly wrote that the boy would reach out soon to, quote, try to fix things. And that in the meantime, she planned to, quote, live her best life, knowing he is beneath her. When asked about the Notes app, Formella claimed that it was nothing more than a way to cope with anxiety and that any references to sexual activity were actually about her husband. But prosecutors pushed back hard, saying the tone and timing of the entries clearly pointed to the teenage victim. In court, prosecutor Jacqueline McAndrew didn't hold back, calling Christina Formella, quote, unbelievably conniving and unbelievably controlling. She told the judge she knew what she was doing was wrong. Prosecutors also revealed that one text exchange described a near miss, a moment when another teacher almost walked in while Formella was having sex with that student inside a classroom. And get this, Formella walked into court that day holding hands with her husband, a former college baseball player. And get this, during that court hearing, prosecutors revealed that Christina was sending text messages to the teenage boy while on vacation with that husband in Italy, where she was marrying that husband. On my News Nation show, I talked to an online journalist who's been covering this case from the beginning, a TikToker named Abby Escobar, who goes by the handle Abby Blabby. She was at that June hearing, and she saw everything. Here's our conversation. First of all, they're holding hands, Abby, heading into court. Do you know if A, he knew of the sheer number of encounters that are being alleged, and B, if he knew anything about that whole I'll take him for millions when I leave him?
Ashleigh, I don't think he had a clue the severity of what was going on until the prosecutor read everything off in the court hearing yesterday. I think he was just as shocked as everybody else.
So he came in holding hands. She would, of course, go to defense table. He would be in the gallery. What happened? Did he stick around?
You know, it was odd because at previous hearings, they have all sat together in the back, but When I got up to leave, I saw Michael's father, but I did not see him. So either he didn't even go into the room, which wouldn't make any sense, or he might have gotten up and left.
So in this case, there was a lot of evidence, not even all of it, but, enough for the hearing that was brought out in court. And one thing really stood out to me, maybe more stood out to you, but it was a video, apparently, that this teacher allegedly sent to this kid, and it was really graphic. Best you can, knowing that we're on television, can you describe what the video actually contained?
Yeah, so the prosecutor said that when she couldn't physically abuse him, she would send him little reminders such as pictures and videos of herself, including one where she was taking care of herself while saying his name.
Also known as masturbating, right? Like, we're covering the Diddy trial, so now we've pretty much said a lot of this stuff already. But
Yes.
is it correct to describe it? She's masturbating on video while holding a photo of him, and that she allegedly sent him that video of all that business?
So she sent him a video of herself masturbating, saying his name. She sent him numerous videos and photos, apparently, and even asked that he do the same in return.
No, that's never good. There's business here that I saw in court about Ms. Formella being concerned that, or at least telling this young boy, allegedly, that a neighbor of hers had faced similar charges and that she was fearful. Is that accurate? Because if it is, it suggests she knows exactly what's going on and how wrong it is. And then we have this scene in the cruiser saying, what the heck is happening? I can't imagine.
Right. So that is what she told the victim. Whether it was true or not, only she knows. She fabricated many stories along the way in order to control him and get him to stay with her. But let me look here. On November 4th of 2023, she sent him a text message telling him that a neighbor of hers just got caught for doing the same thing, and now she's scared. But that obviously didn't stop her.
So all I can say is this. What on earth attracts these beautiful teachers to these children? It is not the first time we have heard this story. I think the first one that hit me square between the eyes was Mary Kay Letourneau. Mary Kay had a husband and 4 kids at home. I think it might have been 5. And she was a 6th grade teacher. And she fell in love with an 11-year-old boy named Vili Falau. Yeah, 11. Got sexual by, I think, the age of 12. Eventually, she was caught, but not before Vili had impregnated her, right? She ended up going to prison. 7 years they gave her, but they let her out on good behavior. And what did she do? She went right back to that child, and she was caught with him in a vehicle under a bridge having sex. So back into prison she went. She was given a freedom, an opportunity to get paroled, but she violated that parole right away. And I guess it was the lucky episode under the bridge because she was impregnated again. Mary Kay Letourneau had 2 children by Vili Falau. They ended up getting married and living, I guess you could say, a pretty happy life together for decades until they eventually split, which seemed amicable, and then Mary Kay Letourneau sadly died of cancer. But that story was just one for the record books. I don't know if you remember Deborah Lefebvre in Florida, 2005. She was 23 years old, and her victim was a student who was 14. Most people looked at that case because she was just ridiculously beautiful. I think that's why it made so many headlines. She didn't get prison, though. She got 3 years house arrest, 7 years probation, which, by the way, was cut short after 4 years. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of appealing, but basically she got off scot-free on that one. I don't know if you remember Brittany Zamora, another absolute blonde beauty, 6th grade teacher. This is in Arizona. Brittany was accused of sexual misconduct with a 13-year-old boy, apparently having oral sex in the classroom and a car. She was sentenced to 20 years. So the sentences started getting tough, right? The grand mommy of them all was Pamela Smart, 1990. She was having an affair with a 15-year-old student. This is in New Hampshire. And she co-opted that 15-year-old and a couple of his friends to kill her husband, which they did. They all ended up going to prison. Pamela Smart is still there, dying to get out. Don't know if it'll happen, but Nicole Kidman did a hell of a job portraying her. She won an Oscar for it, too. But here's where things stand with Christina, Ms. Formella. There's an avalanche of new evidence and expanded charges, and it's led to her being stripped of her teaching license. That said, she's out on bond. Christina was released on house arrest and is being tracked by GPS. For her part, she says she's misunderstood. For their part, prosecutors say she's dangerous. And the evidence? It is digital, detailed, and damning. But as of now, she's still walking free, waiting for a trial that could put her behind bars for the rest of her life. I will be following this case closely as it unfolds. You know I will, and I will do the updates, but make sure you're subscribed because sometimes I just go ahead and drop those crazy little extras. I'm Ashleigh Banfield. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, the truth isn't just serious, it's drop dead serious.